Uh, the pink elephant, please.
I'm sorry, buddy. It don't count unless you're behind the line.
Well, I was behind the line.
Not hard.
I was standing right here with my girlfriend. Now, the pink elephant, if you please.
No way.
Rise from your blaze.
Hello, hello, hello. Do I look like I'm in one of your movie pictures? One of your moving motion action pictures? What's up? This is Amethyst Pudding here. I may or may not have lost my mind. Who knows? But, joking aside, I have a pretty good selection of 4 story snippets, one being the crux of most of the story time, about tales from fairs, like being at a fair, carnival, any kind of anything like that. And we'll start off with a pretty, this is like it's like a scale of like it's going to go from the quickest to like the furthest one, but either way, this story is like also my furthest back in time. I think it's pretty close to my other story that's coming right after it. It is about going to a local, it was at the fairgrounds. I don't remember how old I was. I was small. I was in grade school, maybe. I was in grade school. I had to have been. I don't know if I'd be able to remember it if I wasn't, but I was very young. I was young as could be, but I was old enough to walk around and do all that. But it was like a little thing. It wasn't the fair at the fairgrounds. This is like a little petting zoo, and they had like a couple other little small exhibits and maybe like one food cart if they even had that. It was just more like a little like impromptu petting zoo area with a few other exhibits. One of the exhibits at this place was actually pretty neat. It was now get this, it was a Ripley's Believe It or Not exhibit. And it had, I still remember it to this day, I actually did the research and looked up what this thing was. It was like what I would call like a mermaid. They call it the Fiji mermaid, and it's like you could look it up. It's like a skeleton. Top half is like a human looking skeleton, like a human features, like arms and like a head, the head being there. But the back of it's like a giant looking, like it looks like it's like a fin. So it's like where it got like the mermaid. It's got like a fin with scales and such. So the whole thing with this exhibit is it was a old P.T. Barnum's exhibit that was around it was still around to this day probably, but it was not been able to be disproven until 100 years after it being shown around. And believe it or not, Ripley's Believe It or Not, they're the ones Ripley himself is the one who debunked it as being like a monkey skeleton top half and not a mermaid, but a large fish's back side, and they just like sew it together. And this exhibit I seen might not even been the exact one. It was probably some replica one that someone had created of it. And it's funny that it was at Ripley's Believe It or Not exhibit because they're the ones that disproved it. So it was kind of fitting. But that's not even the whole point of the story, if you could believe it or not. The point of the story is I get over to some of the petting zoo cages, and there's like llamas and like donkeys and all this. And over by, I believe it's the donkey cage, there is and I shit you not, in the old time film video, I wouldn't lie to you, there was a used condom and a wrapper of said condom, like very close vicinity, on the ground near the animals. It was near the animals. Now, granted, it looks a certain way, doesn't it? It looks a certain way, but who knows? I tell myself to this day that it was probably just somebody had a good time there, and somehow it ends up, because it wasn't like super obvious location, but it was still within I was able to see it, and I was just like walking around the pens looking at the animals and trying to get some pets, and yeah. And it was just there for all to see. I didn't say anything. I didn't tell anybody. I didn't know what to do. I didn't tell a single soul, though. I'll tell you that much. Nope. I didn't know. As a little kid, vaguely had an idea of what it was, but now definitely knows what it was. So yeah, little effed up story, but the whole PT Barnum thing was kind of cool, right? Either way, let's go transition now. Second story. It's pretty close to this. I'm a little older. I'm still pretty young. And we are at, I believe, it's a local fair. It's not the Morgan County. It might be the Sangamon County Fair, which is ironic because that's the highlight of another story coming right close after this one. But there's a ride there. There's actually two rides I'm going to specifically talk about, but the first one is the Alibaba. It's two things, and they both go like woof woof, and sometimes they'll like counterbalance, and sometimes they'll like one will stay up, and one will like stay down, and boom boom. They'll do some crazy combinations of actions. Well, I was on that one time, and my dumbass, and this is like a tale that all little kids I think learn at some point in their fair going career, if you call it that, is you probably don't want to eat a bunch of food before you got on the Alibaba or any ride that's going to like jostle you around. So I get on the damn thing and, it's doing its thing. And I already like kind of feel it as it's just barely starting to go. I can't tell them to stop. It's still, too far going. And so I'm just like trying to just maintain, but I got like the sweats going on. It's a hot day, and I'm getting the vomit sweats. You get, especially if you get drunk, you're just like, ugh, and like I'm sweating, and yeah. So it happens to be I remember it as like plain day. There's two of them, and I'm on the front one. Well, I guess it'd be it's the front one of the two. Just picture it, the front one of the two, and we are at a point where it's stopping at the top, and they're stopping at the bottom. And actually, no, sorry, I was in the back one. Otherwise, this wouldn't make sense. So. Stopping at the back one. Actually, doesn't really matter. Either way, we're stopped at the top. I vomit, goddammit. I did it. I couldn't help it. At the very top of it. And you hear it. You could hear it. Because there's nothing, I guess you can't really hear it. I'm being exaggeratory. I'm sure they could at the bottom. But like, I could have swore I heard it. Maybe I was just like listening for it. But you don't hear like a traditional splat. Because I'm pretty sure it got on the lower cart. People, not all of it, but some of it, because you hear people like gasp, like oh, and I mean it might be people I'm looking from the bottom seeing it, but not my greatest moment. But I was a young kid. I was probably like second grade, third grade, fourth grade. I was probably barely tall enough, so to speak, to even get on the damn thing. But oh man, there was actually a carnival. At this same carnival, there was a fucking you shoot. Like there's like a shooting like games. Well, there's one where there's like an archery thing. It's like a crossbow, and you shoot an arrow, and you try to get it into this little star formation thing. Son of a bitch, I got that thing into the star, but get this, I got denied my prize. I totally got denied my prize, just like in Darkman. I got denied my prize because he overstepped the line. See, apparently when I shot into the star, I shot into like the very upper part of it, and like. You could technically argue, I guess, that like part of my circle was like touching the line, even though it had to have fully be inside. So he was trying to say like the very outer border, like the 1/1,000,000th of it was on the outside of the border, which, sure, yeah, I'm a fucking kid though. What an asshole, what a dick. Either way, third story of the four. This one, it is a very similar. Actually, this might be the same fair, but very close. I was probably second, third, maybe fourth grade at the oldest, little kid. And there's a ride, once again at the fair, called the Ring of Fire. And it's just a simple ride. It's just literally a circle. And it just goes, and it goes. Sometimes it'll pause at the top, and it'll kind of like do some weird shit, but mostly just goes. And there's no vomiting in this one. No vomit. This is actually worse. I almost died, kind of, technically, probably. Very severe damage in this ride. So, okay. I'm a small guy or whatever, but, when you flip the little harnessy thing down, it clicks, and there's like some wiggle room, usually, but not a lot. This case, I could already tell there was going to be an issue, kind of, not really an issue. It felt loose, and like, even if it was like clicking, like I don't know. I always remember the Ring of Fire being like this, but in this particular time, every time it would go upside down, like I would like literally either smash my head or fall out of the goddamn ride. Because I mean, it's pretty well enclosed, but there are ways probably. Also smashing the head on the fucking roof. So here I am holding like the spirit bomb, just fucking holding the roof. I'm just permanently doing it because there's no point of stopping and going every goddamn time. So yeah, I'm holding the roof for this whole entire, like, I don't know, 2-minute ride. I don't know how fucking long this son of a bitch was. My arms are fucking tired and I hate the Ring of Fire. I mean, now would probably be okay, but it's a boring ass ride, but it's also like you're upside down still, like fucking stories up in the air, gonna fucking smash your skull on a fucking metal top of a goddamn ride, dude. I remember I got out and I was mad. I was like, man, you need to make sure. I don't know. I was saying some shit probably. I was fucking pissed. But that leads us in to the finale, if you will, of all the fair stories I have. And this one boosts us way into the future. I'm talking way into the future. Like, I am at the location. It's Sangamon County Fair. I don't want to like dox myself, but I mean, who gives a shit? I don't mean, that's not really, I don't even like, doesn't even say where I live. It's just, it's a small fair in rural Illinois. Either way, we're there. And when I say we're, it's me, my sister, my grandma, and like one of my grandma's like friends, I believe. Yeah, it is. It actually is. I don't remember her name, but one of my grandma's friends is there. And she gives me and my sister like spending money. I don't remember how much it is. It's a pretty decent amount, like $100, $150 maybe, you know what I mean? Decent enough spending money to like get you going to wherever you need to go. Either way, we're there, and I'm trying to make this money last the entire time because we have, I don't remember if she bought tickets or it was a free concert, but Leonard Skinner was there, and we were staying for that because I think she bought tickets for all three of us. And then the other woman bought her ticket too. And I was above the age. I was, I think, either just 21 or 22. I was like, it was right there. It was very close. I was of the age. And I knew, and I kind of did, I wanted to make sure I could make most of that money last for beers during the show so I can get wasted and enjoy the show and whatever. I mean, Leonard Skinner's, they're decent. I mean, I don't like their like southern flag flying shit. I don't think they actually did that. They had a pretty good setup. I believe I will show a clip from that, like a picture of it at the very end of this, after this whole story time's over. So if you want to see a clip from or a picture snapshot from that concert, you can see it. And so no Southern flags, that's good, because, you know, like they have Sweet Home Alabama, that's fine. I don't care about, it's fine. Either way, though, I need to make my money last so I can get beers, so I can be enjoying of the show as much as possible. And so I remember I buy some gator bites. Like it's a pretty rare thing to find like gator bites, like literally alligator meat bites. So I bought those. They tasted good. They were a little chewy because they weren't prepared in the greatest fashion, I suppose, or they weren't prepared, like they either need to be cooked longer or they weren't cooked long enough. One of the two, like, you know, it wasn't like it was going to get me sick. It was just a little, you know, a little bit of the chewy side. So making my money last here. I decided to buy a few beers to pregame, like before it. Like I learned, like there's at the same fair. Yes, I got my first beer. I remember I sit down and there is a trained bear. There's a fucking trained bear at this motherfucker. I'm so excited. And so I'm sitting down and I'm drinking my first beer, getting the foam off, you know, fucking doing the nose trick, if you will. And yeah, I'm just sitting here drinking this beer and I'm watching this trained bear, like, you know, stand on its like two legs and do like balancing the ball and go through a hoop. And, you know, it was a blast and it was pretty well trained. It didn't maul anybody. How exciting. No mauling today. So it was good, especially when you're starting to like drink some beers. I remember right after that, I got another beer and I went and I sat down and, I think I had some chili cheese fries. So just with those two items, that and the beer, and I guess those three items, the gator bites, the beer, and those, I was like already like, okay, I need to stop and just strictly beer it, or maybe play a game, because we could ride all the rides. So I was riding all the traditional rides, the tilt-a-whirl, the little one that sticks you to the wall, you know, all the traditional ones. So when it comes time to the show, I had probably pre-gamed probably 4 beers at the time, and like, you know, these are spread throughout probably a few hours. Like I was just trying to get a little, like I said, just pregame. So then when the show started, I got 2, and I'm not chugging, but I'm drinking pretty quick. And I remember I'm pretty saucy at this point in the show, and they play that song. I don't know if it's called "Can You Smell That Smell." I don't remember what it's called, but it's like, "Can you smell that smell?" I was in the fucking porta potty at that time when they were playing that song, and I shit you not, I was taking a piss, a long ass piss, of course, breaking the seal. I come out of the bathroom. And I'm like, "Can you smell that smell?" And I'm like waving my hand over my nose. Everybody around the motherfucker laughed their fucking ass off. I was so fucking proud of that moment, dude. I had like probably 30 people erupt in laughter. It was great. And I think one of the people in the things next to me started laughing. I heard like an echoey laugh. I might have been a little drunk, like I was, but it might have been, I don't know. I'm pretty sure someone in the stall was laughing, or the fucking porta potty was laughing too. So I get back there. I met this couple who are badass. They were badass. So we were just getting drunk and we were smoking. I mean, my grandma was like up in the stands. Like she didn't want any part of the up with the crowd, dude. So I'm like, hell yeah, I'm smoking with them. I'm fucking drinking. It's a great fucking time. Oh my God, dude. We're passing around blunts. I didn't even have any weed myself. This is all free for me. So we get back into the car, like the vehicle, as it wasn't me. My grandma took all of us there. And I shouldn't have broke the seal when I did, I guess, because like on the way back, in the highway back to my location where I live, I need to piss like a racehorse. Like I literally cannot hold it in. Like I tell my grandma, "Hey, here's the thing." Like I keep telling her on the way there, like on the way already. I'm like, "I need to go to the bathroom." She's like, "Hold it." I'm like, "Okay." And I'm like, to the point to where I'm like, "Hey, I'm either going to piss in your vehicle, or I'm going to piss on the side of the road, but I have to go, and please don't frown upon me for doing so." And she, lovable soul as she is, she pulls over to the side of the road, and I get out on the highway, and I get into the like tall, grassy fucking like get chiggers everywhere on your penis, on your feet, on your legs. I had shorts on and shit, and sandals. So yeah, I'm pissing, and there are cars driving, boom, boom, and there's people honking and shit, and I'm like holding my thumb out like a hitchhiker. I'm not too far in, so holding my arm out like I'm doing some funny shit. My sister's laughing, my grandma's like, "Get your ass in here, hurry up, blah, blah, blah." So I get back in the car, and my sister is fucking laughing. I think my sister might even had one of her friends with her at this point, or she maybe was there the whole time. I can't remember fully who was with us. I know my grandma had a friend, but either way. So yeah, we get back to town, and I fucking eat some food, and I get home and sober up. But he's pissing on the fucking highway after a show at the fair I was making. Dude, it was just a crazy train of events, let me tell you. But either way, that was over my stories. It was a good time. And I'm glad that you guys were able to listen to some, I guess, sort of rambles, but not really. They're pretty cohesive. There's just some good stories. And I got, for the month of October, I'm going to keep the film grain going on, and I've got some spooky stuff coming up for getting closer to Halloween, and I think you'll enjoy that. So be that as it may, you guys have yourselves a great one, and I will see you on the flip side. This has been Amethyst Pudding. Peace.
Whoa, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, kids. Whoa, I need a cigarette.
Dr. Evil, I want you to meet your son.
My son?
Yeah. Scott!